Hey everybody, welcome back. It is Mob Vlog. Today is June 23rd and it's Rednesday. So thank you guys for joining us today. And well, what's the topic today? The history of pornography in Chicago and the Chicago outfits involvement in it. So welcome back, guys. It's Mob Vlog. Hey, Red, good to have you with us today. How are you?
Hot, and damn hot.
Hot and damn hot.
It's hot here.
It's hot everywhere right now, Red.
Yeah.
In Vegas, it's 100 and ridiculous again outside.
Yeah, that's what it is here.
Yeah, it's exactly how it goes. So, today's Pornography Day.
Something I had a lot of involvement with.
Could say that, sure.
Somebody asked me a question I posted this on Facebook, and somebody asked me a question. Did I know Leo Weintraub? Yeah, I knew Leo Weintraub. He was a pioneer in Chicago. He was way back in the 40s. And Mike Galita muscled him, took over his whole operation. And then there's another guy that asked me about Tony DeFalco, A&A Distributors. And yes, I knew Tony quite well. He fell off the face of the map for some reason. He closed up his distributorship and disappeared.
Wow. So a lot happened with the pornography in Chicago. We're going to get into all that. Just want to say hello to some of you guys: Tim Halverson, Frank Ferraro, Calzone 83, Scott H, Matt Fowler. It's good to see all of you guys. Today, Will Wahardo, Matt Fowler. Looks like the usual suspects are here with us today. Mike Randolph.
That movie, The Usual Suspects.
Mike Randolph, what's flying? We used to print porno at Regincenter, the Mitchell brothers.
Yeah.
Well, how do you say it? Regencenter.
Right.
Okay, Mitchell Brothers story. Look at the picture above. The coast is in euros. I don't think it's Chicago. Oh, no, that picture in the thumbnail, I don't think it's Chicago either, guys. Something random I pulled. It looked like a good, it looked good. Larry Lapper, how many names are you going to butcher today? I don't know. Let's see. we got one so far. So Austin Spriggs, good to see you guys. Austin's from New Zealand, so welcome to the
hey,
room,
Austin,
guys.
He keeps sending me emails. He's a great guy.
Cool. So before, like I said, before we get into all this, though, I told you guys I've been working on the said pizza box, getting this finished up. Hopefully in the next probably 10 days, we'll be ready to start shipping. Believe it or not, the hardest part about this whole damn thing is getting the DVD made. Nobody makes DVDs anymore. Nobody even makes software to make DVDs. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. But I did come across a commercial, a little trailer I built for this pizza box. And last week I showed you guys the little intro of it. Well, I want to roll this trailer. It's from 17, or I think it was in late 17, and we were shooting for St. Valentine's Day. So you'll see that date in the end of it. But check this out.
My name is Frank Collada. I am the last living gangster in Las Vegas. $360,000 armed robbery that I committed and got away with. So I put 6 bullets into his head. And he ran. I looked at the gun like, did I miss this guy? I knew it was pressed against his head. He was scared. I don't blame him. I met him in Stateville Penitentiary. And once a week he would kill an inmate. We just put him in a bag, and nobody ever said anything about it. It was just another guy who committed suicide. I was a product of my environment. I didn't know any better.
So yeah, that's gonna be shipping out very soon. So,
it looks good, Adam. It looks very good.
A lot of work. I'll tell you. But that video was shot before this channel was even started. That video was shot, and it was shot in Dean Martin's dressing room, as a matter of fact. I don't think we're supposed to advertise that, but anyway, yeah, it was our first interview, actually, Frank and I. So it's really good. It's going to be fun. It's almost 2 hours in length. So
Scott just ordered Frank's cookbook.
There you go. Now, in case you guys have not heard, a couple of days ago, Frank's co-author, Denny Griffin, great guy, he passed away. So condolences to his family and his friends. Denny was a really great guy. And
that wasn't COVID, was it?
No, and I'm not certain if it's posted somewhere or what happened.
It was in the Las Vegas paper. It was in the Las. Was
it in the Las Vegas paper? They did an article on it, right? So, anyhow, any of Denny's family that might be watching, I'm really sorry, and my condolences to you guys. He had his wife was wonderful. It's very sad, very, very sad, and it seems like nobody nobody knew or didn't say anything. I don't know. So anyhow, yeah. So thank you everybody who's putting the comments in the comments here for him. That's very, very nice of you guys. So maybe later today maybe I'll post some of the interview that we did. So I did an interview with him not too long back. So anyway, on other news, yesterday was the anniversary of the Spilotro brothers being their bodies being discovered. And I pulled this off of Facebook, this posting, and Tony Lee posted this in Chicago Mafia History, that it was the anniversary of the Spilotro brothers, and he was in Chicago and visited the gravesite and said that that there was more dirt in the base and weeds coming around from the sides and mold over the names. So he's suggesting that maybe somebody wants to clean that up. Go down there with a little scrub brush or something and some.
Is that what they call perpetual care when they charge you a fortune to be buried there?
I guess so. Crazy. Anyway, I figured I'd throw that up there for you guys to take a look at. But since we're all in here and we're about ready, Scott H., good to see you. Cindy Workman, it was good seeing you while you were in town. I had a great time with you guys. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you got my email about the hats. So be sure to give him a call. Talk to Lewis. Anyway, so we'll get things going here. And Red, and you guys, again, open any kind of comments, anything. The topic is pornography, the history of it in Chicago, and what the outfit's involvement was. So Frank Ferraro, thank you very much for that comment. And we are we're ready to go. So Red, let's start right back at the beginning, man.
Yeah, the beginning. Yeah, that was one of the original machines that you could actually crank by hand, and these cards would. There were pictures, and these cards would actually move. They were like maybe a second apart or something like that, and they made a moving picture, and they were kind of the beginning. It was a nickel. You throw a nickel in.
Wow. And as I see the little hand crank on the front there.
Actually, I think it was part of the Nickelodeon thing where it said, put another nickel in, my Nickelodeon, one of those things. I don't know if you've ever heard that song.
No, I knew the television station Nickelodeon.
I'm dated.
I have no idea what Nickelodeon really even means. You had to just keep putting one after another in? Is that
machine? It was the first machine. You'd put a nickel in and just crank it, and it would show you what you thought was a movie. No sound, but just pictures.
So it was a flip show, kind of like a cartoon, basically. Like you take the books and you flip through.
It looked like a real movie. It looked like a movie.
Right. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's a bunch of pictures, and they rotated around, and that's what you would look at. And obviously, these machines were located in public places.
Yes.
All right. So I guess you'd watch that, right? Well,
somebody got the idea to make them. I think the postcards came from France, and they decided to make them into porno. And so they had naked ladies going, this pitch, that pitch, and people, it caught on and eventually became into hardcore.
Wow. Scott H said, how can they be making any money in porn nowadays since there's so much out there that's free?
I can answer that. All your porn channels on the internet, they're not exactly free. They give you snippets of what you can watch. And then if you subscribe to their porn channel, they get the money from it. And the truth of the matter is those are all owned by one person. Every one of them is owned by one person. It used to be they were different. They were bought up, and the stock in it's a legal company. So the stock in it, if somebody bought it, you don't know who the stockholders are, but I can guess because there's big money in it. There's a lot of big money in it.
Yeah, and something I was told by somebody who was coding porn sites in the 90s when it was just starting to become a thing. Something he said he paid thousands of dollars to sit through a convention about that was put on by Microsoft and what about all of these different ways to make money on the internet with your online business. And then he went to a porn convention. It was like a free class to sit in, and he learned subscriptions. People get subscriptions to things, and they don't unsubscribe. So if you have
once they have your credit card, that's it.
Yeah, once you put a subscription into something and it's an auto renew every month, people end up paying, for things.
So you cancel your credit card.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, so these Nickelodeon machines that were out in the public, and what did this evolve into? Because you ran video arcades as well, right?
Yes, I did. And when I first started, they were 8 millimeters, 8 millimeter film, and they ran on projectors. And they ran on a screen in the back. You couldn't see the projector, but the screen was in the back of it. And I thought that was very primitive until I saw the ones on State Street. The ones on State Street were really primitive. That was from Leo Weintraub. He owned L&W Sales over on Milwaukee Avenue. He also had about maybe, I'd say, 15 to 20 stores throughout the city. But he saturated the loop all the way down the loop. And he became a distributor of magazines, porno magazines and other things. Over at L&W Sales, which was on Milwaukee Avenue. And Mike Galita eventually muscled him out of everything. He became an FBI informant.
Mm-hmm. Would the outfit today be into the internet porn?
Yes.
Okay.
They're into anything where there's money. They're into Bitcoin. They're into everything. Come on, give me a break.
So let's take a look. And I told you I worked in a strip club, but that was just a little different. You know, they had the back room, the dance room, the champagne room, and whatnot.
Lap dances.
Right, lap dances, exactly. But this type of situation here that you take a look at is more of a live performer in a peep show booth, where this would be the type, I think it says on the side there, $20 minimum. You put it in, and then I guess the curtain goes up or something like this, and the girl.
No, it was a metal, like a steel shaft that came down, and then behind it was plexiglass. And they always had a girl back there playing with herself or doing something. And you'd ask requests. She'd ask you, what do you want me to do? You know, different things like that. And it was started out in New York, but it graduated all the way across the United States. Chicago never went on it. I don't know why. They just didn't go on it. But it was in Michigan. It was in, it was in all the Midwest states, Indiana. It was everywhere. But Chicago, they didn't do it.
Here's another shot. This is, I
LA
guess,
was big on it too.
from behind, and this is in New York, somewhere in New York. But this would be the view that the girls see, right? Looking out of these windows, and they're each in their own booths, and the guys would come in, and then the door goes up and down and whatnot. So pretty much what it is. That's what it is. So, hey, by the way, guys, smash the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button, especially just coming in here. Hit the like button, guys. It forces the YouTube algorithm to share the video.
By the way, those gals made practically nothing. They made like $20 for a shift.
Wow.
And they were making thousands for the house.
Well, better.
Junkies. Most of them were junkies.
That's too bad. That's it's like, you know, prostitution.
Well, they say pornography is prostitution. You know what they say? You pay the people to do the sex acts, and then by paying them, you're paying them to prostitute, and then you're selling the prostitution, which is distribution of prostitution. Where they get around that simply is the Supreme Court, the obscenity law. Is it obscene? It's left up to each community that you live in under the obscenity law. So you would have to say, is this obscene, and take it before a judge. Under the Supreme Court ruling, it's not really obscene. It's something that happens. It's sex. It's normal.
Right. So prostitution's a hell of a racket, Red. I mean, you got it, you sell it, you still got it.
Yeah. You got it, man.
Unbelievable. It's good to see so many of you guys in the room today. In case you didn't hear, the Vegas mob tours reopen, and we're running tours. We're running our tours again. It's very exciting. Check it out.
Yo, Bugsy, it says here they got something called the Vegas Mob Tour.
Yeah, Bobby, ain't you heard? It's all about our old friends Sam G. and Connor, Meyer Lansky, Mo Dalis, and of course yours truly, Bugsy Siegel.
Are you kidding? A mob tour about us?
Yeah, they take you to where we used to hang out and to all the places where we used to do our crimes.
You mean they expose all our secrets?
Yeah, but it's okay, because we ain't around anymore. So let's face it, we can't get busted.
Hey, you think we could sneak on board and check this out?
Of course we can. Forget about it. They'll never even know we're there.
So back to business here. We have some questions on the side. So Victor Hubler, who meaning what ethnicity was typically the manufacturers of pornography? Interesting question.
Mainly Jewish. Mainly Jewish. Reuben Sturman was probably the king of pornography in the United States. But even he had places overseas in Amsterdam, Sweden. Matter of fact, he owned Swedish Erotica, which is a very famous title. And they did company, and they had their name all over it, but they would have different stars.
Mm-hmm. Ovis Herder said dancers at the Admiral make up up to $3,000 on a weekend night, just dancing, no touching.
Yeah, okay.
I know that the places I worked, it wasn't, a girl who was let's put it this way, a good stripper, right? A
hustler. A hustler.
Exactly. One that's hustling, that's really just they make a lot of money, a whole lot of money. Carl Foster, you're correct. It is the oldest profession.
That's what the Bible says.
It's been around since the beginning of time. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So Alan White, do you think the outfit and other families are still running the country? Would it be safer than what's going on now?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
I do. I believe Frank agreed with me. I was looking at Frank Galata's old videos that you did, and he talked about it. He said none of this nonsense would have ever been going on.
No.
They wouldn't defund the police. We wanted the police. They're bad guys. The idea is how to get around them.
Cindy Farrow said there were up and down State Street and the North Side. I remember them from the 70s and the 80s, meaning peep shows.
Yes, Cindy, they were everywhere. And most of them on State Street were owned by Leo Weintraub. Some of them were owned by Reuben Sturman and out of Cleveland, until I shot my mouth off and said, "What's Cleveland doing in Chicago?" I was talking to Irv Weiner. And they had to pay. They had to pay Chicago.
Don D. Pizzalo. They had peep shows on Randolph and Halsted in Chicago. Actually, there were quite a few.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody asked me occasionally, you'll see somebody say something about, did you know this one over here? Did you know this one over here? No, I didn't know all of them. It wasn't like I had a directory of all the porn shops.
Exactly. And Cindy Workman said, you have to go. Adam did a phenomenal job. It's memorable. Cindy, thank you so much for that little endorsement.
That tour, that tour's got to be something else. But both tours.
Well, I'm working on another. Working on another tour right now. But right now we have the Good Springs Ghost Hunt Haunted Vegas and the Vegas Mob Tour, and we're also building right now the Vegas History Tour, which takes you to the underground house and you go through the house. It's. I told them, I said, you can't describe it in pictures. You have to see it with your own eyes, and it's true. You really do. But anyway, it's interesting place. Thanks for that, Cindy. Scott H. If the mob ran the country, you could wind up on a meat hook for not paying your taxes. What do you think? Exactly, and that's
Yeah. Well, that's fact. That's not fiction. I like John O. Red, how many gallons of bleach and Windex did you use? A month? Wow. I used to buy my bleach in the 5-gallon cans, and I never used Windex. I just used bleach. Spray it down. But I'd put the bleach on with a brush, like a broom, and then let it sit for a while. You could barely breathe. You had to get out of there right away, even with the vents on. And then just go in and hose it down. And take a squeegee, and anything that was glass, you just squeegee it down into the drain.
Wow.
Some people had wooden floors and stuff. I had a cement floor, so it was easy because it all just went right down the drain, all the germs and everything.
Oh God, I don't know how you did that, but I guess
every day. And I had employees that refused to do it because they said, "I ain't going back. I don't want to do that."
Oh my
That's
God.
why I'll do it myself. So I'd suit up like in a fisherman's suit, like a waiter's, where you climb in, went all the way up to the chest.
Yeah. Rubber up to here.
Yeah, you got it, man. And that's how I did it.
Wow.
If they didn't want to do it, I did it.
Wow.
It was the same thing. Like cleaning the bathrooms was the same thing.
I couldn't. I couldn't. Outfit Boss Red. Who did the porn magazine distribution in Chicago? Was it one person or multiple people?
Multiple people. Leo Weintraub had probably the second biggest one. The first one was Capital News, and that was over on Kedzie. And that was Paula Lawrence, and she was the mistress of Ruben Sturman. And he sent her to Chicago and put her on the license there. And what happened was when he got indicted, he was glad that she was on the license. The business kept rolling. But when he got out of his trouble, out of prison, he wanted his money back, or he wanted to be partners again. And she said, "No way." She said, "I took the heat and everything with the FBI and that." She said, "I'm not giving up nothing. My name's on the license. I own it." And she married a lawyer. So,
wow. Matt Fowler said, "Did Red get permission to operate? Any kickbacks needed or protected by friends?"
Yes. I went in and asked for permission before I even opened it. I didn't want to get muscled. I didn't want 50% of everything going to the mob.
Jim Yeager, great question here. After Hugh Hefner moved Playboy to California, did the outfit try to muscle him?
Not in California. They tried to muscle him in Chicago, and that's why he left. The whole thing, Playboy After Dark, the Playboy Club, everything, it just went out to California. Kind of like Larry Flint. When he got hassled in Cincinnati and Ohio and all over, he just packed up and said, "That's it. I'm going to California."
Wow. Scott H. said Frank Calabrese Jr. said he used to collect from the porn shops in Chicago. I think he spent specifically in the Chinatown area, right?
When I read it, I took issue with it because he said all the porn shops in Chicago. And I took issue with it because he never collected for me. As a matter of fact, no part of that Chinatown crew ever came near me. But then again, Lombardo was in charge all the way over those guys. So, it just didn't happen. When they planted their flag on me and said, "He's ours," nobody came by me.
Okay, so I know you invented a product called Rush.
Yes.
And put it together. Now, this has a bit to do with, because it was used in the sex industry, right?
Right. And we sold to everybody in the porn shops in Chicago. Everybody. You had to take it because they were connected. I went around with Phil Amato. I went around with other people. That's Jimmy Cozzo's father-in-law. He was related to Messino. And in some way, I think his wife was his Messino's sister. But at any rate, what happened was we go around, and when I was with him, he'd just go up to the counter and say, we went to Sammy Sokolis, who's now, I think he's running the Admiral now. But we went out to Manheim Road, and when I walked up with him and said, he did all the talking. He said, "Now, how many cases do you want to buy?" And all of a sudden they said 10. Usually I was lucky if I got by with one.
Mm-hmm.
And the case was a gross 144 bottles.
So you were selling those. There's something else here. This is an interesting one, because I know that you said you knew some of the guys in the neighborhood, right, that would come and visit your shop. Even some of the I think you said Peanuts.
Yes. Well,
Right?
Peanut. Oh, here we go. Peanut's wife was in Lexington prison, Lexington, in federal prison.
Mhm.
And one day he worked in the Chicago's Old Town Italian Beef, and I kind of kept an eye on him for the FBI. But anyway, he was working with Jack O'Rourke at the time. But what happened was I was pulling in the driveway, or I was coming in or something like that, and I saw him coming out of the store. And I couldn't believe it. I just looked at him, and he looked at me. He's very, as a matter of fact, he says, "What do you think I did in prison?"
Oh my gosh.
And I went, "Okay."
All right. TJ Watt.
TMI, too much information.
TJ Wozni said, "Hey guys, Red, did you ever have any Chicago political figures as customers?"
Yes,
Okay.
I did. And I never blackmailed them or did anything because they spent good money. They spent good money. They spent a lot of money. They never went in or out without spending $200-300.
Any names that you could say?
No,
Without-
nothing I can say.
Nothing you can say. Okay. Well,
One's deceased. One's deceased. I can mention him. Governor Jim Thompson.
Governor Jim Thompson. Wow. Was a customer at your store.
Yes.
Wow. I don't know who these people are. Eric F. is asking about, but Lou Wolf and Ken Goldberg.
Louis Wolf. I got a story about Louis Wolf. He was a big real estate guy, and he had a bad gambling problem, and he owed a lot of money to a lot of people, and millions. It was way up there. So Louis Wolf, I never met Louis, but Jimmy Kozo called me up and said, "Go down Piper's Alley to the Paradise Club." That's what it was called, the Paradise Club. It was kind of as open as you could be. I mean, they sniffed cocaine there. They involved in sexual activity there. They did a lot of things there. And it was closed. They took it away from him. And so he said, "It's yours. You don't have to buy it. You don't have, all the bars are in there and everything." He said, "You don't have to buy it. You don't have to do anything." But it had like 14, 15 bars in it. And private VIP rooms and all this other stuff. Very well, nicely done, carpeted, it was tasteful. But I looked at it and said, "You know what the heating bill or the electric bill would be on this place?" I said, "This is way over my head. I mean, way over my head." And so he said, "You can have it for nothing. All you do is just go in. Give us half. Give us half of what you make. Just go in." Now, I probably would have made maybe, I don't know, $60,000, $70,000 a week, but it wasn't worth the headache. It really wasn't. You had to hire a lot of people. It was over my head. It was bigger than I wanted to be. Hogs choke and pigs eat.
Yeah, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. That's the way I've heard it. Eric F. said, "I believe he owns the Admiral Theater." On
paper, maybe he does. But the truth of the matter is, Sammy Sikola, I believe, is running it right now. He was running it. After Patsy Riccardi got murdered, it was originally Milwaukee Phil's, and then it went to Frank Schwiess. And after Frank murdered Pat over the Bijou Theater, him rat-holing on the Bijou Theater, he was holding money back. He wasn't turning it in. Sammy Sikola took over, from what I understood. Last time I checked, it was managed by him. And by the way, that's another thing. That was supposed to be a theater, right? What do you think they did? They put out display cases with porn, and they put it in the theater. And then he bought Rush from me. They used to buy Rush from me. So he kind of copied, everything we can get in there, we get in there.
Well, the more products you have to sell, and the more options people have. Right?
It was way on the other side of town, and I didn't care. I didn't care at all. I was just surprised that somebody would copy something that I did.
You know, I was told by one of my mentors, when people start copying you, you're on the right track. So if people want to emulate what you're doing, that means you're doing something right. So,
Adam, you showed me a coin. I got the whole roll right here.
Oh yeah,
But
it's in the thumbnail.
Yeah, you showed me a coin the other day, and it was from Cicero, I believe. And believe it or not, I still had some of these. I don't know if I can put it up there or not. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, it's kind of coming into focus there.
Hold on. I'll go easy.
If you hold it still, it may. Put your hand in front of it. Yeah, put your other hand up and see if it focuses the camera. Yeah, there you go. Now we can read it. No cash value. No cash value. You're right.
Now, I invented these.
Okay.
I didn't invent them. I decided instead of using quarters, this is the same size as a quarter. Matter of fact, it works very well in a parking meter. But when they would buy these, it wasn't for the peep shows and back. They couldn't buy, like get change for $2 worth of quarters and maybe spend one quarter and hang out back there. And I don't know, whatever they did, they waited for other people. But anyway, long and short was I decided to do that. After I did, everybody in the city started getting them. Everyone. And they all had their names on them. That particular one is one that I found. There's another one that I have that says Chicago's Old Town Video on it. And there's another one that goes way back that says The Peeping Tom, going way, way back.
Interesting. Jerry Cruz, hey, shout out to the West Side, man. West Side of Chicago. Good to have you in the house. Ovis. Hey, it was rumored the Admiral was haunted. This is right up my alley, guys. One night, making props in a section not open to the public. I swear I heard voices. Yeah, I left that evening. Wow, that's that's pretty cool. Ovis. Interesting. Anyway, I've never heard about that place being haunted. So
no, I don't think it was haunted. There were some very superstitious people that used to go in there and owned it. So I don't think it was haunted. If it was, there'd have been a lot of bullet holes, a lot of places.
Yes. Scott H. Right. Exactly. Tokens, used them at the arcades all the time. I know there was an arcade by my house when I was a kid, and you get 20 tokens for $5. They gave them to you instead of quarters. Because why? You're buying tokens. You're in the business of selling tokens now.
That's why I invented that.
You're not in the business of collecting quarters.
The return was great. I mean, they roll up in quarter packets like this one. So you can take them on your rolling machine. Oh, there they go. All over the keyboard. But you can take them and roll them up into quarter, what do you call them? Cylinders.
Right.
So you return them. The return on them is great.
Mm-hmm.
You could lose a lot of money with the quarters.
Yes, correct. Rick Charleston. You had to spend the tokens at that location, and each location is going to have its own size tokens, so it only works in their machines. And you can't, they just did that at the car wash down the street here by my house. It was a regular, dollar. You take the quarters, put them in. Now it's tokens. Smart. So.
And I invented that crap. I was the first one to ever do it.
I read somebody asked earlier. If you ever had to deal with people who wanted to distribute illegal pornography, such as snuff films, things like that.
Occasionally, somebody snuck something in but I believe it was snuck into the distributor because they didn't want to get nailed for it either.
Mm-hmm.
And I never had to. Nobody ever forced me to. They told me not to. They didn't want me to get busted. But I do know that Kurt Hansen made his brother had a stables out in Tinley Park on Central Avenue. He made a film, 8mm film called Pony Express. And you just use your imagination for that one.
Gotcha.
It was a male pony.
Gotcha. Okay.
He brought it to New York and gave it to Teddy out there. And Teddy was selling them in New York like they're going out of style.
All right, I'm going to get. Hold on. We're going to get to Lewis Cole's question, but to follow up this question, what was the weirdest movie you ever saw? Hardface wants to know.
I don't know if I want to go into that.
You know what? If it's that,
I don't
weird,
remember the name of it. I don't remember the name of it, but I'll tell you what. Steve Tushin went to prison for it. I'll tell you what it was. I'll tell you what. It was an S&M where this gal, she was a dominatrix, and this guy sat on a horse, like, a carpenter's horse, where they use them to, and she took nails and a hammer and smashed them through a scrotum.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. All right, never mind. Sorry.
I told you I didn't want to go into it.
Sorry, I asked. I apologize. Bad question. Oh, wow. Okay, so
Lewis, you got it.
there's your answer.
Was it Lewis that asked that?
No, but let me get to Lewis's question. That was Hardface that asked that last question. Red Adam, do you think Al Capone was the pioneer of porn in Chicago? He opened the most brothels.
I think somebody under him was the pioneer, because back in the 20s, it was the flip cards, like I said. So somebody that worked for him, whoever it was, came up with the idea, and he said, yeah, there's a lot of money in it. We'll take a piece of that too.
Okay. So I do not know who this is, and I'm going to mispronounce the name. I already know that. Sam Cicola?
Sammy Cicola. Yeah.
Sammy Cicola. Okay. It says that he's just selling his house in Barrington, asking price of $16 million.
Yeah. Well, he made a lot of money, man.
Who was he?
Sammy Cicola. I think I told you about him. He had all those places on Mannheim Road. He had a bunch of them on Mannheim Road. And then after Patsy Riccardi was murdered, he took over the Admiral Theater. So he didn't take it over. He was sent in there to run it. That's all.
Gotcha. Keith Helton. Hey, Red, didn't you write in your book about Ken Hansen getting beat up by a transvestite?
No, I did not. It was Frank Schwiess. I wrote
Schwiess, right? And it wasn't a transvestite. It was 3 or 4, right?
Actually, it was a good half a dozen. And they had high heels on them. They were kicking him bad.
Oh, my God.
And the guy that was with him went and got a baseball bat out of the garage because he was trying to get into his garage. I had chased him away from my driveway. And they went down by his driveway. And Frank had too much to drink. But when he got out of his Mercedes and whoever was with him, they both went to jail. It was terrible. The police showed up and they saw the guy with the baseball bat and they saw the transvestite. And they figured, oh, they're taking advantage of the weaker people. When I asked Frank about it, he gave me a whole different story. But I watched it, so I didn't say anything to him. Let it go.
That's probably the best thing. Tony Padula. When you were producing porn with the outfit, did you ever feel the girls were there against their will?
Never. They were waiting in line, Tony.
Well, if let's just say, if something did happen, what would you do if you thought that the girl was there against her will?
Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Go away. Get away from me. I don't know who told you to come here, but go back and tell them I didn't want you.
Yeah, I guess, there's. Yeah, I suppose so. Kind of crazy. But
What are
that's
they
not.
what are they going to do? It was probably if it did happen, it was probably a low level pimp. And what are they going to do? Go back and complain to somebody? There's nobody to complain to. If they complain to the outfit, that was it.
Right, exactly.
I don't think Joey would have even got involved in it. He just sent somebody like Mike Switek or somebody else.
Guys, in case you're just getting in here, be sure to hit that like button, smash the like button. In case you didn't hear, we are finishing up one of our projects that's been on the back burner for quite some time. And if you guys wanted to check out and maybe pre-order a pizza box, you can. Right now, you can go to frankculata.com.
I like that little flash drive. You not only get the DVD, but it's a little flash drive that's a gun. It's under the pizza.
So, in the pizza box, there's the pizza, and then under the pizza, that's the disc for the DVD, and then this is a foam pizza, and in the foam pizza,
that's a flash drive.
Yeah, it is, and it's heavy too. This is a solid metal gun here. So, but there's your USB stick, and it goes in it. It's kind of cool, yeah. Anyway, Frank loved the idea when we came up with it, and we started the filming. Anyway, it's been sitting in the can for a long time, and it's almost finished now. So
I wish I would have gotten to know Frank. I really do.
Yeah.
I didn't at the time because I didn't know him, and I just agreed with a lot of things he said. But now that I watch your videos, your past videos, I binge watched last night. I wish I'd have talked to him. I really wish I.
It would have been interesting. I just threw the link in the description here, guys, and you can go there. Like I said, check out that. You can also download, by the way, at this web link here. I just put it in the comments. You can download the cover to Frank's casino movie script here. This right here. This is the cover to the casino script, and it's signed by all the stars that were in the movie: Frank Marino, Pileggi, Scorsese, Sharon Stone, Joe Reedy, Joe Pesci, and De Niro, and and Frank.
Adam,
anyway, it's just a copy, but you can download it.
Did you put a link for my book down there?
There will be in the description, guys. You can go into that, and it's at redwemette.com, and it's also in the comments. I just dropped it into the comments. So we're going to wrap up in a little bit, but first, here's the first couple of minutes of the movie that's in the pizza box. It's in this. Check it out.
Looks good, Adam.
Hey, thanks. It's coming together. It really is. It's coming together.
I'd like to mention something. Frank mentioned it in one of his videos. Like I said, I binge watched his videos last night, and he was talking about washing his money, and he took it and put it in a sink and washed it on the counter to dry it. And somebody said to me in one of their comments, it was filthy money. It was a filthy business. How could you do something like that? Well, money's money. Whether it's filthy money or not, it can be washed, it can be put in the bank, whatever. And sometimes you wear gloves, when you're handling people money like I am. If it comes out of somebody's pocket, you don't know where it came from. But those bills have been around everywhere. So it may be a filthy business, but it can't be any more filthy than strong arm robbery or home invasion or things like that. At least I didn't hurt people and kill them.
So I was taught the dirtiest thing in a bar is the cash register. So it's the filthiest thing in the bar is the cash register, because all the money's dirty. But I got to tell you, when I worked at the strip clubs, the money that I would get tipped out from the girls, all the cash, I'd stack it up, and I would go to the magic shop in Franklin Park, and I drive up to Franklin Park Magic to go see my buddy who runs the shop there, and I'd walk in, every weekend, I'd come in and I'd buy a few things, right, and I'd pay with this money, and he'd always take the money and he'd fan it and smell it. Well, it smelled great. It was all the different perfumes from the girls on that. It smelled like strip club money. This stuff, if it smells like a perfumey and everything, you know where it came from. So, you just used to. That was pretty funny. All right, guys. Next week, what do you want the topic to be? Last week we gave you an option of the Chicago porn history, or the other option was. What was the other option last week, Red? Oh, Operation Greylord.
Yeah, people wanted to hear about Greylord.
Operation Greylord. So this week we'll give you guys the same.
Just come up with a new idea.
Yeah, and throw something up in the comments you guys want you'd like to hear about, and we'll let you guys vote on it and see what. We'll see what you guys come up with. Hey, guys, off-topic question for Red. Out of the outfit guys, who was the funniest and best at breaking balls?
Joe Lombardo.
Yeah?
Joe Lombardo, yeah. He had wit about him. He was the funniest that I knew.
Huh?
He had a
Okay,
sense of humor.
Okay, guys. Here's what we're getting in the comments here on the sides. This is what you guys are writing in. Chop Shop Wars. Greylord. That's been said 1, 2, 3 times. Cal Shitty. Let's go to Cal Shitty. Tony Accardo, Capone, and Nitty.
I don't know much about those things. If you do, that's great.
No, Sam Giancana, who killed.
I know a lot about the Chop Shop Wars.
Chop Shop Wars, and you know a lot about.
As a matter of fact, I was watching something where I believe it was Frank said Carlisi had run of the chop shops out west, and it really wasn't him. It wasn't Wings that had it. They were fighting over it. Jimmy Couture was the biggest chop shop guy that I knew. And he kind of started it way back. This is in 1968.
Okay. Chop Shop Wars. Operation Greylord. Operation Gambit. What's that?
A Gambit was a Gambit. There you go. Gambit was gambling. It wasn't as successful. It wasn't as big as some of the other ones. But Operation Gambit was, I really don't know that much about Gambit. I really don't. But there were different people involved in it that I ran across.
All right, let's try and stick to things that you definitely know about. We could definitely talk Chop Shop Wars. We could definitely talk Operation Greylord.
Yeah.
You guys are all.
Greylord was a killer, man. I mean, they got police, they got judges, they got lawyers.
Right.
I mean, it was a cast of thousands.
That sounds like a great topic. So let's do this. If you want Chop Shop Wars, put 1 in the comments. If you want Operation Greylord, put 2 in the comments. 1 for the Chop Shop, 2 for Operation Greylord. So, and go. Let's see how many people vote for each one, and then we'll know what we're going to do next week. So, porn is less filthy than politics.
I agree.
Right.
But I think there's porn in politics.
Porn into politics, huh?
Or worse.
Oh, this is you guys are really throwing there. This is really mixed. This is really mixed, you guys. So let's start counting these.
Life story. What is 2? What did we say 2 is?
Oh, 1's Chop Shop Wars, 2 is Operation Greylord.
It seems like we have more Greylords here, but
Rick Charlton's looking. He voted for number 4.
Yeah, somebody else voted for Blake Gregory. He voted for number 3. I don't know what that is.
2.
Sunny 0.
2.
Sunny 0.
Sunny Zorro. I thought that's how I said. I always said Zorro.
I'm sorry, I said it wrong. I butchered this thing.
But no, Sonny lives here in town. I've gone up to Windy City Beefs and had lunch before with Sonny. He's cool guy.
Looks
2.
to me like the 2s outnumber the 1s.
It looks to me like the 2s are, 2. Austin Spriggs just voted twice. 2, 3 times Austin. You can't keep voting Austin. One time.
Yeah, RV Tack did it twice too.
Wow, you guys a lot of 5 times Austin. Okay, so what does it look like to you? I think 2 is definitely I think got it. Ricky Grand Deuce. All right, so it's going to be Operation Greylord next week, guys. Operation Greylord should be a lot of fun. By the way, if you didn't catch it, we posted a mob vlog flashback last week, and boy, did it take off. It's Frank telling a story about what he said to Joe Pesci on the set at Casino. If you haven't watched that video, I'm going to put a card here at the end so you guys can click that and check it out. If you want to watch the video, it's good. It's a good video. So anyway, with that all said, Red, Operation Greylord, by the way, next week we may have to break that in 2 parts because I'm not going to be able to sit for the whole hour next week. I have to leave about 20 minutes early. I have to leave. So next week it's only going to be about 40 minutes long. So with that said, thank you guys all. Thank you, Red, and thanks for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun once again. Good to see you. And Mob